So when you think priest, pastor, minister, what kind of thoughts, words, what comes to your mind? What's your general impression?
Well, I'm agnostic,
Okay.
so I think that they should be trustworthy.
Yeah.
I probably generally don't have stories you hear in the media. It's not really that great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, what kind of traits, or like, would you go to those kinds of people if you had a crisis, spiritually or something in your home? Yeah, probably not. Yeah, that's totally okay. Yeah. So, you think they are trustworthy or should be
It
trustworthy?
should be.
Yeah. And what other types of traits or characteristics should they be displaying if they have that title?
Family oriented, Christian like.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Thank you for your time. When you think of minister, priest, pastor, what's your general impression, or like what comes to your head when you hear those words?
A lot, because I grew up in a Baptist church that treated me very poorly, and then switched to, my mom pulled me out of that school/church. We went to an Assemblies of God church called Trinity Christian. Y'all know about Trinity Christian? In Cedar Hill.
So yeah.
And I grew up with some of those youth pastors, and I saw them come and I saw them go, and I know a lot of drama that's gone on behind the scenes regarding some of those youth pastors, and so I know a little bit more than the average person does about like how that behind the scenes situation works. So on average, when somebody says minister to me, I just think of like a person who makes mistakes just the same as anybody else, because obviously just because you're a minister doesn't make you any different.
Yep. So if you like had a situation in your life, a crisis, a problem, could be spiritual, could be something family, like could be anything. Would you probably go to one of those people if you were having some sort of crisis or situation in your life?
I think I could.
Okay.
Definitely. Maybe not at this point in my life,
Yeah.
but before I have, definitely.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Impression, like when you think of a minister, a pastor, priest in that general area, what do you really think when you hear those words?
Somebody who's wise and who I can trust, and just I guess somebody that kept me off guard right now.
No, you're good. You're totally okay.
No, just somebody I'm comfortable with, and
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
pretty much.
would you say that you, like, if you had a crisis or like a problem or something, like you say you would generally probably go to one of those people for like advice or wisdom on those kinds of things? Cool. So, what do you think? What are some other characteristics or traits do you think that those kinds of people who have that title should be displaying?
I guess compassion, and I guess when you have people, like, I'm sure they have a lot of people coming to them for help and stuff, and just guiding them in the right way, and
Yeah.
pretty much.
About ministers, priests, do you trust generally a minister or a priest or a pastor?
Okay, for me, we are here in this world for love each other. And every person talk about Jesus and Heavenly Father. There's something big.
Yeah.
We don't need to worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry for nothing.
Yeah.
Because we are kids of our Heavenly Father. We need to worry about the people who loves
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. So, would you say you generally trust like a pastor or a minister? Yeah. Hey there, this is my response for the video interviews for Ministerial Ethics. First off, I want to say that this was very, very awkward to do, and like really hard to do too, to just interrupt people's day to talk about something that's almost pretty taboo. Now to talk about like ministry, religion, all of those things, and just trying to find those people who we just felt like I went with Brittany Calhoun and trying to find those people who we hopefully didn't take up much of their time or completely interrupt their day. But so yeah, let's start off with that this was really awkward and hard, and some interesting conversations that happened. But we met some really great people who were just really sweet, and it, like you saw in some of my videos, I had some people who gave me some pretty good, it seemed like they'd had positive experiences in the church, and some good, solid, that they still believed in God, and they believed that ministers should be trusted, held to a higher standard, all these different things. And I got more of those people, and Brittany got more of the people who had walked through a lot of hurt, and even in some of mine, even because of that hurt, now not believing in God because of the actions and the mistreatment by a group of people, or a pastor, whatever it is, a church, and my biggest response is just like my actions whenever I would leave a conversation with people who had been hurt was just heartbreak of like, I'm so sorry that that trust was broken, especially by someone who is supposed to be an authority, a trusted person with that title. And like the word says, like, we're ministers of the gospel are supposed to be will be held to a higher standard, judged more harshly, and to think, I personally walked through like a lot of of being in an unhealthy church, and walking through like hurt from a pastor, and just the fact that so many people have experienced that, and even the timing of all the stuff that's coming out in the news with the Catholic Church, and pastors, so many pastors, not just in the Catholic Church, but other Christian pastors who just the most horrible crimes injustices that you can think of, and asking, and that being such front page everywhere you look, almost seems like they're talking about it, and then like going and having to ask people about this, and that it should not be that way, but really like just so many people who don't trust, and who don't feel like that they can ever, because of the actions of some of those people. And it just really just broke my heart that because of, like I said, because of that, their vision of God is now skewed, and that trust there is broken, because those people who claim to be listening to God's voice, supposed to be spiritual leaders for all these people, and followers of God in general, like, could do something so horrible. And so yeah, that this was, again, just a lot of just eye-opening, and honestly just conviction of like, Lord, like, I don't want to be, I want to be the opposite of that, and and even help those people who have thought that for so long, like bring restoration of, not because I'm a savior or anything, but just to help people to see God the way that he's supposed to be viewed, and not through other people. Like, yes, we are, meeting places for people to meet God, but also just realizing that he's above all and totally different. And hopefully that I can, from this whole class, of just the conviction of like, I want to be better than that. I want to be different. So yeah, there's my reaction. This was a really great project, and scary to do, but really eye-opening.